Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert, covering a very strange situation where Bud Light and Burger King, who is now basically responsible for trying to kill free speech platform Rumble, are actually owned by the same guy, a billionaire out of Brazil. I'm not seeing anyone else talk about this, and it's really important, so let's get into this video. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. Here's the deal. So Burger King is going after Rumble, saying that they refuse to advertise on the platform because of Russell Brand. They're not the only company to do that, but only have a couple of companies. So it's a little bit suspicious as to why they're so aggressively against continuing to advertise on Rumble. Rumble is not a big company. This is Rumble stock. They're only $5.07. It is up today. Great for Rumble. Rumble is a free speech YouTube-like platform that I do also have a channel on. Every time I publish a video on YouTube, it's automatically published on my Rumble account, so you can also follow me there. Please do. It's a $1.4 billion company, but compared to YouTube and Google, it's really a very small company. But they do need all the advertisers they can get. After the Russell Brand controversy, Burger King was one of the major advertisers to pull out of Rumble. They didn't directly say they were pulling out of Rumble because of Russell Brand, but the timing is hard to ignore. It looks like because Rumble decided to keep Russell Brand, Burger King decided, okay, well, let's help to eliminate Rumble as a competitive platform to YouTube. That's how people look at it. Now, I have a little bit of experience looking at 3G Capital. I knew about 3G because of their relationship with Warren Buffett. 3G Capital is a Brazilian global investment firm and private partnership built on an owner-operator approach to investing over a long-term horizon. So they were founded in 2004. They're an investment banking company. They're into leverage buyouts, which means they borrow a lot of money to take over companies, get control of them, and then lay off a lot of staff and restructure the companies. The idea is if you can restructure the company efficiently with less staff and less expenses, you can make enough of a profit to pay off the debt that covers the cost of acquiring the company. That's what a leverage buyout is. 3G Capital did this with Warren Buffett on their Kraft Heinz acquisition, but they did it on their own when they did their deal for Anheuser Busch. Now, these things do get a little bit complicated. These are multi-billion-dollar companies. However, 3G Capital founder Jorge Paulo Lemann has a substantial stake in 3G, and 3G is one of the major owners of Anheuser Busch. Of course, Anheuser Busch owns and controls the Bud Light brand, which we have seen the massive boycott for and all the upheaval. According to Yahoo, 3G still owns a very substantial stake in Anheuser Busch. The Brazilian investment company 3G, previously controlled by InBev, was also called Interbrew. Nowadays, 3G Capital still owns approximately 23% of Anheuser Busch InBev, and the majority of its top executives are former 3G employees and partners. So 3G, with their management team and with their stock ownership, control what's going on at Anheuser-Busch. It's also a public company, but those public company investors, because they don't directly control the management, because they don't control a controlling interest or a substantial amount of the stock compared to 3G, it means the people at 3G really are calling the shots for what's going on at Anheuser-Busch. But in addition to Anheuser-Busch, 3G actually owns Burger King. 3G owns a company they call Restaurant Brands International. Restaurant Brands International is a Canadian-American multinational fast food holding company formed in 2014 by the $12.5 billion merger between American fast food restaurant chain Burger King and Canadian coffee shop and restaurant chain Tim Hortons, and expanded by the 2017 purchase of American fast food chain Popeyes. So they control Burger King, Tim Hortons, and Popeyes. They're also a public company. The company is the 5th largest operator of fast food restaurants in the world, behind Subway, McDonald's, Starbucks, and Yum Brands. They are based alongside Tim Hortons in Toronto, and for tax purposes, Burger King and Popeyes retain their existing operations and headquarters both in Miami. These guys do complicated tax deals. They're called tax inversions and other tax structured transactions so that they can basically pay the least amount of tax and take advantage of how governments look at companies for trying to figure out who's going to pay what tax. 3G Restaurant Brands Holdings, an affiliate of the Brazilian investment company 3G Capital, owns a 32% stake in Restaurant Brands International. The company is publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and the Toronto Stock Exchange. In March 2023, Joshua Kobza was named CEO of Restaurant Brands International, replacing Jose Sil, who had held the role since 2019. So somehow it works out that two of the most culturally significant brands that are obviously American brands are owned by this guy in Brazil who's a billionaire who is calling the shots on what happens with these companies. Right now, Burger King has pulled its advertising from Rumble. There's a big threat that Rumble, offering a platform to people who the establishment and globalists do not like, will offer a way for people who publish their content to get out the word as a counter narrative to the mainstream establishment narratives. It's not like this guy Jorge does not understand the importance of these brands in American culture. If he didn't understand them, he wouldn't have bought them for billions of dollars and worked on trying to make a profit with them. He knows they're very valuable. He knows they have a lot of influence. And he also understands marketing money and how important that is to make the brands well known. As it stands right now, a multi-billionaire in another country essentially gets to call the shots on what happens with American brands and American culture, at least in these two companies. But as we can see of all the stories we're talking about lately, a lot of it is Rumble and certainly a lot of it is Bud Light. And it goes back to this guy, and he kind of gets to decide how these companies handle their business. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.